Hello and welcome to Saturday Chat with me, Big Scott 35. Like I said, I got a couple of things I want to talk about, maybe rant about a little bit, depends on which way I go. I am a little drugged up today, got a nasty cold. So who knows where this might go? Might be a fun one, who knows? Uh, so, uh, Week there was, started off with we did the Sunday night. Me and Mike didn't have much to talk about, but man, did we talk! Uh, I thought it was very good. You know, very good group in there watching us live. Uh, I, the group that comes in and watches that is just tremendous. Seems like we're getting a couple new every week, bouncing in and out. Let me know if there's something that you want, to talk about on there because you're just as much as that part of that show as I am. Uh, bring forth your suggestions on that, and we get that going. Then Monday, me and Dad did a live talking about the playoffs, and during that we got the news that Pete Rose passed away, which I'll talk more about that in a minute. And uh, we it's it was fun, and we had a good turnout for that as well. Just talking baseball, um, which I love. Watching Cleveland now beat up on Detroit game one. Uh, fun first round. My Mets gave me a heart attack in game three, but glad I stayed up to watch it. Um, let's see. So that brings me to Wednesday with my share with you what I picked up the last couple of weeks. Not a lot. I mean, that was 2 weeks probably of pickups, if not more. Just not making a lot of purchases. I haven't purchased anything card related this week. I picked up another Frank Thomas starting lineup today for like $5, but just not just saving money, man. Real life things, rather go to things, and that brings me to today. Today was a card show at the ball field right down the street from me. I just didn't feel it today. I went to it the last one, and I bought the only two cards there that probably meant anything to me: Pete Alonso and Gary Carter. Uh, so I it's the same dealers. They're, like I said, it's a lot of TCG there. I just didn't feel it today. I wasn't feeling well. I didn't want to be with a large group of people. I don't want to get anybody else sick. So I just didn't go. I just ran some errands. I rode by the field. I didn't see, it was 8 in the afternoon. I just looked in. It looked pretty crowded. It's just hard to tell from the outside. But they usually get a pretty good turnout for that. So just not much there. I'm waiting till the one later. And I'm waiting for Chantilly, more vintage. Chantilly is usually pretty good vintage, pretty good where I can pick up some Baltimore stuff. Like to get Jackson Holiday, something up there, like an 8x10. Like I got for Gunnar Henderson a couple years ago. I like to get an Adley Rushman as well, 8x10 auto. And cap stuff. That's a good place for like any show that's got local sports. It's good for the local sports there, if you like them. So, and it's also I think it's it's not vintage heavy by any means, but it's got vintage there enough to look at, enough to happen to see something you might want. But it's got a little bit of everything and not a lot of one thing. It's a very diverse show for not being a national. So I'm just kind of waiting for that, saving my money for that, and just I put away for shows, and I'd rather take money to that and take money out to go to a local show and end up buying something I really don't care about or waste $5 to get it. Today I just didn't feel it. So I might go to a toy show in December. That's in town, which will have some cards and stuff, usually non-sport. I did find some historical cards last year at that one, so I'm kind of hoping that vendors there and stuff like that. So that's where I'm at for cards. And also today, I want to touch on. I touched on this Monday night on maybe Sunday night. Bear with me, my head's all over the place. So Sunday night, talking about, I'm in video games and sports games. I love my sports games, and I was talking to somebody about MLB The Show, and it's just not as good as it used to be. It's the same thing with a little bit of higher graphics, and they just redo the names on the back of the jerseys, put in whatever new jerseys are out there, whatever, new ballparks. Make the ballparks look better. You can build a ballpark, stuff like that. And they pushed it online so people buy packs, and in-game purchasing, pay to win. And it's not really pay to win, but pay to get better stuff, better people in the team. That's what they're pushing on that. But it's the same thing in the ball cards. Like, the more people, it'll do Major League Baseball a service and grow their product if you don't give one person your total, where they make one thing. It's not, when you don't have anybody to compete against, you have no reason to be better. I was a huge wrestling fan during what we call the Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars, whatever you want to call it. Wrestling was why so many people love it then, and now it is nowhere the same as it was then, is because of the competition. Competition breeds greatness. It just does. When you're at work, you're always competing to be better than everybody else. You just want to be better. And when you give somebody like Tops and Fanatics, you're the only one that can make these ball cards. What is the reason? We're going to buy them regardless, and then we're going to bitch about them, and we're still going to buy them. But when you only give one person the rights to it, I don't. It's ridiculous to me. We keep talking about this is not a junk era. Sorry, it is. It is at a certain level, on so many different levels. But what keeps us from not saying that is the numbering on the cards. There is a thing that makes some of the cards worthwhile. But sooner or later, people are going to look at that and go, "What the? It's the same picture with a different color, same auto." I don't understand the different numberings on autographs. I want the autograph. I don't know why getting a red auto is different from getting a base auto, right? It's the same person doing the autograph. I don't know. A 1/1 to me is the same as a base auto because it's the same autograph. Who gives a shit if it's a color or in a number stamped on the top of it? Makes absolutely no sense to me. And do I get sucked into it? Absolutely. That's what I said. It's always a but when it comes to these types of statements. Because when it comes to certain players, I want to get as much as their stuff within reason that I can get my hands on, right? When it comes to David Wright, Pete Alonso, Gary Carter, I haven't purchased anything, but I got watches out. I'm looking at stuff. I get alerts. So when that right thing pops up, I'll pull the trigger at the right price. But right now, just kind of sitting back and watching and shaking my head a little bit because I do think I keep talking about the tiers right now. We got this top tier of the big money ballers, the quad autos of the big name players, and one of ones that people just go nuts over, RPAs and all of that. And then you got the people within reason that are just looking for the lower stuff because we're happy with that. That's what we grew up on. That's what we passed on to the people that collect around us when they get into it. Um, this thing going after bigger cards because of the color on it. Yeah, do I try to get rainbows? Absolutely, because it's fun. But I'm not going to pay a mint. I'm not gonna pay crazy amount of money. Now, do I know when I find some of these Pete Alonsos I've been searching for, am I gonna pay up for them? Probably so, and I'll be like kicking myself in the head, and then y'all are gonna be like, "Well, see, you're just you're talking out of both sides of your mouth." Yeah, but I'm also a realist, right? I'm just saying, the reality is we all do. Well, not everybody, but we do this at some point, and you know, I tend to have to. I'll be mad when I do it, but I'll get over it once I get the card. And I don't know. Pete Alonso might piss me off. I love Pete Alonso after this last game. Believe me, I was sitting here. I'm sure I woke my neighbors up if they were asleep. I was, ecstatic. He finally came through for us. Um, I just, when it comes to just not having diversity, where Panini, Upper Deck. I mean, I'd rather have, if you're going to have 40 different types of cards, I'd rather it come from 3 different or 4 different or as many different people as it possibly can with different logos on the corner. 40 different sets with all say Tops somewhere on it, made by Tops in the back. Bowman made by Tops. It's just ridiculous to me. And I know Panini made some cards this year, and they're not half bad. I got a couple of the Skeens because they could do it because he was still a prospect. It just it's not the same. I wish Don Ross or Panini would make minor league sets. Just go ahead and make a minor league set. Get the rights to some minor leaguers. Get rights to the Minor League Players Association. That's what I would try to do. I mean, I know Tops makes pro debut. I haven't seen it this year. They used to make Heritage Minor League, but they don't. I think when they made Tops pro debut, they stopped doing that one. But yeah, that would be fine with me. And I would love to see Upper Deck, Fleer. We talked about it the other night. It would be fun to see some of these companies come back. Wild Card, and I mean, it's not just baseball, football, hockey. It's just better for everybody, even the sport, because you're going to get the best out of those companies to sell their product. And I know this has been talked to death, but I felt like this week it really bothered me because I'm not liking what I'm seeing from Fanatics. They're keeping stuff close to the chest. They're not letting us know like when a sheet where cards are coming out, uh, you know, and Wesker Griffs talks about this. This has gone corporate. It's greed now. It's how much money you can make instead of the fun of it. And Tops feeding the hobby of it. I've always said Tops used to run it like a candy company. You need to move it up a little bit because now it's a big business. And be careful what you wish for, right? Because now Fanatics is running it like a big business, and now they're almost forgetting about us smaller people. Tops now with the crazy $290 autos and pieces of bags and selling out before it even gets started. I don't know who's buying that stuff. I don't know if it's getting resold somewhere. Tops now is not a big product. I don't know how many Shohei Ohtani 50/50s they sold. I did buy one of the home run ones, which when you buy one, you have a chance of getting an autograph or a memorabilia card. There, when you bought that one, it was $2 more because of that. Instead of $9.99, it was $11.99 because you had a chance in an auto or memorabilia card. That's fanatics being fanatics. So if they, $2 more and they sell 100,000 of those cards, it's 200,000 more dollars going in their pocket. So it's a good business move. I can't be mad at the business part of it, but it's still a hobby to me. I don't want it to become a big business. I don't want to be. I'm never going to be driven out of it. There's always going to be a part of the hobby at any dollar value you can be part of. But man, I don't want to be pigeonholed either. I like to be able to have a little bit of flexibility. Like I said, I have 3 accounts, and one of them is dedicated to the hobby for me, unless real life needs it, and then it goes to that. But I mean, I have 3 accounts, and last year that one account all went to the Nationals. That's the only show I went to. This year I'm planning on doing a couple. I've talked about it, but there's some other hobby things that I want to do in my area. I do want to go up to Philly to the Philly show and see what that's all about. And I would love to get to Toronto. I really want to get to Toronto. I really want to get out to California. I want to get to Dallas, go hang out with Dave. Go out to Burbank, see that show. I want to get down to Atlanta and see the shop, with the Taj Mahal of collecting. So there's things I want to do, other than just collecting, and that's why I'm slowed down a little bit. I've got stacks of cards that I'm selling. That's a twofold because I'm in an apartment and I want space. I don't want to be cramped up. I don't like seeing stuff in boxes stuck in a closet. That drives me crazy. It's not doing me any good, so I might as well get it out to who wants it, get it to people. So I wish I had a better way to offer it to people in my community and that I share with all of y'all. But I'm not comfortable doing a sales night because I'm afraid. The fear is nobody shows up. And I don't have the great cards like Mike does or some other people do. When they do that, it'll be very basic stuff. So I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. I don't know if anybody else bought any of these shells. One Touch. I feel like their point system is a little off from other companies, but I do like it. I want to try homogeneous, but shells actually for what you get for the price seems to be a couple of dollars cheaper. I could compare them every time. BCW right now is asking way too. You got to spend. If you spend enough money, you get free shipping, which is almost worth it because how much shipping costs. Man, I'm like, they just do not want to do business. That's just them not wanting to do business. But because it can't be, because these companies, I work for, all companies have a business account, either with the United States Postal Service or UPS or FedEx or whatever, DHL. So they're not paying what like me and you are paying for postage. That drives me crazy. But the other thing I want to talk on before I know I've been rambling is the Pete Rose thing, and this won't take long. I talked about this too on Monday with Dad. We're all waiting now to see if the Hall of Fame puts him in. They should have put him in before. I listened to Carlos last night before I fell asleep, and he makes a great point. He broke you got 2 rules inside of every clubhouse. I talked about this the other night. You don't, and I talked about this at work. You don't bet on baseball and you wear your uniform correctly. That's the 2 rules. And he broke one, but he broke it as a manager. He did all of his ball playing before that. He was gambling when he was a manager. So that's what they're saying. So technically, he wasn't a ball player; he was a manager. And because my question is, we know some other players that got in have serious character flaws after they got in, i.e. Camp Anson. But they're in, and they don't go back and take them out, right? So my question is, if Pete Rose would have got in as a player before he got caught, would they have taken him out? Now, I mean, if you want to watch what Carlos said, he made good points, and I'm not trying to debate anyone, but it was a good counter argument to what I'm making. And either way, but I feel like he should be in. I felt like he should have been in. It was a grudge with the commissioner and Pete Rose. All the other commissioners lived up to that. And that's the reason why he's not in. All he had to do was say, I bet on baseball, and he would have got in. But he wouldn't. And he pretty much middle fingered the commissioner. And the commissioner said, all right. And it's like supposedly a note in the commissioner's office saying never let Pete Rose in the hall or whatever. But they allow him at ball fields now. You know, I feel like, and the thing is, it's like if he gets elected in now, that'll be bullshit. I always hate when somebody gets in after they passed away and they should have been. If they are worthy enough after they passed away, they were worthy enough in their lifetime. It does them no good to do it. The family's probably bitter. If I was the family member, I'd tell them to kiss it. I take them out like it's an all-star game at the plate. And I know Pete Rose wasn't the greatest human being on earth, but I understand Ty Cobb wasn't either. And there's other players that were not great human beings that are in the Hall of Fame. Now, I don't give a shit if you spit on a guy's shoe. If you hit for a lifetime over 300 and you are the hits leader, you're deserving in the Hall of Fame. And this is my point, and I'm going to leave you with this. In the Hall of Fame, there's videos acknowledge him being the hits leader, the greatest hitter of all time. They talk about it. He's in there. Bonds, Clemens, all those guys are in there. But I'm not talking about them. That's a different story for a different day. So to have him being acknowledged as the hit king and giving him that knowledge in that building, but not putting a plaque up, to me is shitty. And I just want to leave it at that. Leave me comments. I mean, yes, I can understand when somebody doesn't think he needs to be in. I can see that. I'm not stupid. But that is my opinion. And I felt like that for a while. And especially when I read more and more about it was more of a personal vendetta than a thing, because Pete Rose just didn't get along with people. It's kind of like the Kurt Schilling thing, and that to me is just shitty. So leave you with that. Tomorrow night, hopefully Mike will come on. I don't know if I'm gonna reach out. I am really not feeling well, so I might come on, see how I do. Might not be an hour or over an hour. We'll just see. We'll go by ear tomorrow night. But I hope to see everyone there, bringing questions. We could talk more about Pete or the thing with the sports, all the sports teams just having one thing, one company doing their cards. I just, for some reason that's been eating on me the last couple of weeks. I just think competition is best for everyone. And hold on. I'll be hitting one of these afterwards. So until then, like, share, tell a friend. Let me know how you feel down below. Tell me how you feel about things, man. I'm here to listen and think about it. And until tomorrow night, see ya.